right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go over the first chapter of our text for OCED 1030. And certainly our book's titles, Teaching and Learning with Technology, 4th edition by Judy Lever Duffy and Jean McDonald. From what I've seen of the text, got a lot of good stuff there for us. And so, I don't know about you, but let's go ahead and get started and see what's there. First question is, what is educational technology? What does it entail? And so, our authors give us this definition right here. Educational technology is any technology that is used to support teaching and learning. Obviously, those are the two fundamental processes that ought to take place in our classroom. You and I need to be teaching, presenting the information that students need to know to be able to learn things, get the skills that they need in order to pursue their education, and also learning. They have to be able to assimilate that information and make some sense of it. And so those two things are fundamental, but educational technology is one way that can help facilitate that. Now, the NCATE standards articulate the professional preparation requirements for all teachers. Now, what in the world is NCATE? Well, NCATE stands for the National Council for Accreditation of Teacher Educators. And so this group sets the standards for all the teacher training. Colleges and universities all have to meet those standards, and they are reviewed periodically. Obviously, a lot of four-year institutions train teachers, and so one component of that training would be getting potential teachers and teachers in training prepared to be able to use the technology that is out there for them to utilize in their classrooms. Now, what about some technology standards for us to be able to utilize all this wonderful technology that's out there? Well, the ISTE, which stands for the International Society for Technology and Education, this is a worldwide group that sets some standards for, like, what kind of PCs should you have to be able to do some things, what kind of bandwidths, all the technical information that's needed for us to be able to move digital information from one place to another and utilize it. These are like your IT people. But those standards are at the core of most national and state standards, because let's face it, we don't have the technology and the infrastructure to be able to support this educational technology. It's not going to be a whole lot of use to us. And from my experience as a developmental ed teacher, about 9-10 years ago now, we had a movement that we were going to use a online software called Plato to be able to deliver developmental education. Well, the administrators made that decision and said that that's going to happen, and they signed the license agreement with Plato. But we found out very, very quickly that 9 out of 10 of our technical colleges were not prepared to be able to teach that course because of inadequate electronic infrastructures. And so that kind of got the ball rolling for us to set some standards from at the community and technical college level, saying, okay, this is the standards that we expect every school to meet in order to be able to, for students to be able to successfully utilize technology, and also for the teachers to use it in their instruction. And so those standards have been adopted by national accrediting agencies and also state standards. And obviously the local level would follow the state standards. Now, the National Educational Technology Standards exist for students, teachers, and administrators. The NET standards are there for students to be able to use that technology from home. This is what it takes to be able to do online learning, or else to utilize blended learning, things like that. Teachers, what are the standards that you and I have to have in order to be able to do these kinds of things and to be able to be trained on various teaching technologies? And then for administrators who basically control the money, what kind of standards need to be met, in terms of networking, bandwidth, and things like that you need to have to be successful. And so all three of these very different groups are impacted by these standards, and certainly give us some baseline for which to move forward. And these NET standards target specific areas proven critical for success in society and industry. For us as technical college instructors and as vocational educators, those of you that may be at the secondary level, we want to try to give our students the best experience possible so that they can get a feel for the technology that they're going to utilize there on the job. Well, if you and I are using PCs that are still DOS driven, well, they're really going to be a generation behind. And also, let's face it, outside of work, computers basically have some impact on our lives every moment, at work or out of work. And so we need to have some kind of level of technology, home, work, school, that we can utilize to make the most of our educational and personal experiences. Now, this next slide talks about the National Educational Standards and Performance Indicators for students. What are some specific indicators that they want students to reach? Well, here's a number of them. Creativity and innovation. We want students to be creative, to be able to come up with new ideas and new technologies that are going to kind of build on the technologies that we've got today. Being able to communicate one to another digitally, whether by voice, by email, by texting, whatever the mode, we got to be able to communicate. And also to be able to collaborate. Very seldom do you see anything done today that is not done in a team approach. People need to be able to know and learn how to work together, because that's how industry works. Be able to be fluent in research and information. The World Wide Web has all kinds of information out there for us. Now, like I tell my students, don't believe everything you either hear or you read on the internet, because it may or it may not be true. And so we need to make them good consumers of information, being able to dig to find out what information is truthful and what information and research is, that may be out there that, maybe it might be questionable. We also want them to be critical thinkers, be able to solve problems and make decisions. When they go to work, they've got to be able to think, to be able to logically and systematically solve a problem, identify the problem, then look at a potential solution to it, and then make some decisions, because they'll do that every day to some degree. And let's face it, if they aren't going to be able to make those decisions right now, later on in life, if they move up the corporate ladder, they will come to the point where they will be doing those kinds of things. And so you and I can provide them a foundation from which to build on. Digital citizenship, being able to kind of be a good consumer of this new World Wide Web, to be able to use it to help them and their families, not to be one of these people who wants to use it negatively to hurt people, to put out viruses and malware that are going to do nothing but give people headaches. To be a good digital citizen, to use the internet the right way. And then number 6, technology operations and concepts. I teach a course in computer literacy, and one of my goals is to teach my students to be good consumers of the technology, to kind of have a good fundamental understanding about how computers work, and also application and operating system software, so that they can go out whenever they're going to get ready to go purchase their own PCs or laptops or whatever digital device they want. They can speak the language. They sort of know how the technology works. And so everyone could really benefit by knowing that information. Now, that's for students. That's what we would like them to learn. Now, what about for us as teachers? Well, you and I need to have the opportunity to be able to facilitate and inspire learning and creativity. You and I need to kind of set the environment in our classrooms where students get the opportunity to do those things. Give them a chance to learn using a digital media, and also give them the opportunity to be creative with that, see where it takes them. Second, design and develop digital age learning experiences and assessments. I have some colleagues here at my school, not going to name them, but they teach in another program. I see those poor teachers going home every night, some nights, with stacks and stacks of papers to grade. They give 4 or 5 tests a day, and they've already got a heavy load to be able to teach their courses, and they're bringing piles and piles of papers to grade at night to get ready to have them back for the next day. And I told these teachers, why do y'all abuse yourselves like this? Why don't y'all use our course management system to give you tests? And they come up with about 50,000 reasons why they shouldn't. And, they've just decided not to. But yet it would be so simple, as I told them, to kind of redesign the way that they do things a little bit. Would take a major change, and then give your tests online. Save yourself the paperwork. And so you and I kind of have to kind of look at what it is we do in our classrooms and see if we can modify our approach to teaching to be able to integrate this technology into our classrooms. It's a challenge. I won't tell you that it's not. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. Any kind of new technology kind of scares people. I know it scared me. But yet it's getting over the fear of failure, or else that you're going to make mistakes. And believe me, you are going to make mistakes. So don't get all uptight about it. The benefits far outweigh the negatives. Yeah, that first semester, you're not going to maybe do a great job, but I guarantee you that next semester, the next year, the more you use it, the more fluent you become with it, the more confident you're going to get. And after a while, it's just going to be like second nature to you. And that kind of leads into number 3, model digital age work and learning. If we're still afraid of computers, how can we expect our students to really gain any kind of advantage from working in a digital world? If we're still kind of like stuck in the Stone Age, where we copy papers, handouts, we have transparencies on our overhead projectors, or else we're writing on a chalkboard. Not to say that there's anything wrong with that if that's all we've got, but if we have the opportunity to integrate some new technology, smart boards, PowerPoint presentations, animation type of software, and we're still reading out the book, hey, we got a problem. How can we expect our students to kind of model our, to be in a kind of behavior to be digital citizens whenever we don't even bother with it? And that certainly brings us to number 4, promote and model digital citizenship and responsibility. You know, if all we use the internet for is to check our Facebook page or our email, well, that's not setting a really great example, because there's a whole lot more that we can do with those things, as well as a whole universe of other technologies that we have available to us. And so hopefully we'll want our students to model our behavior. And so you and I need to learn how to use this stuff so that we can teach our students to use it. And to do that, we can engage in professional growth and leadership. Don't miss a chance to be able to take some training, get some experience from some experts on how to use educational technology. Right now, one of the things that I'd love to do would be able to take a class in HTML programming. I really wish somebody in the community college system would have a course, maybe that would be online, that we could take, because there's some things that I'd like to do with my Moodle and Joule courses that I think could be done by knowing how to manipulate the programming language. 5 years ago, I was lucky just to be able to put my syllabus, put these PowerPoints into to Joule and things like that. Now, after I've had some experience with it, I'm looking to expand my abilities with it, and I know you would too, in whatever technology you're using. Moving on to our technology standards, the NETS, the National educational technology standards are also becoming part of the NCATE system for accrediting teacher preparation programs. So those standards and nets are being utilized by NCATE to set some standards for the accreditation of teacher education programs. And most states using nets for strategic planning as well as teacher standards. So all of these net standards kind of give a bar for all of our states to kind of shoot for, to be able to integrate educational technology. And so they can use those standards to kind of make some decisions for the future, as well as set the standards for you and me and all of the teachers that are coming up. And our net standards are typically becoming part of accomplished practices for states. So it's kind of becoming standard practice for states across the nation to utilize these standards at the local state level. And here you see a little graphic of some states that have utilized that, and you'll notice that Louisiana, somewhere right here, and that it's kind of hard to see, but we have A's all the way across that, which means that we've kind of adopted those standards for student, teachers, and administrators. And so we've sort of adapted or aligned with those practices. So that's a good thing for our state. And you can see that states around the nation are in various stages of alignment with those standards. Now, what are our professional requirements? The NCLB stands for No Child Left Behind Act. And of course, that's probably that's secondary, elementary, and level. But one of the aspects of No Child Left Behind requires that students be technology literate by grade 9. I think that's a pretty tall order, given the budget restraints. The budget restraints that a whole lot of educational entities are in right now. But as a community college, technical college teacher, I'm finding that fewer and fewer students are needing to take my computer literacy course, because we've articulated my computer course with a course that students take in the 9th grade at their local high school. And over the last 4 or 5 years, I've noticed a marked fewer number of high school graduates that need to take my course, because they are already computer literate. They've already had the opportunity to take that minimal course as well as other courses there at their local high school to prepare them. And when they come to us, they don't really have any problems utilizing a lot of the software and course management systems that we use, because they've used something similar in high school. States are incorporating technology standards for certification and licensure. So that computer technology component is now becoming part of the teacher licensure and certification process. There's no specific requirement for national certification yet, but technology supports requirements for multiple means of teaching. So For a national certification, there's really no requirement as of this point in time, but doesn't mean that sometime in the future that may very well be the case. NCATE also requires that colleges train on instruction, assessment, and professional productivity using technology. If you're going to go pursue yourself a 4-year degree in any kind of education, get ready to take some computer courses or teaching technology courses. That's all going to be part of the curriculum now. In our associate degrees, like this one, one of the courses that you can take is a computer literacy course. Many of our teachers take the local CPTR 1000 course at their local campus and get credit for it. There's really hardly any program that's out there in the community technical college system right now that doesn't use some kind of educational technology that's available. And also provide in-service for teachers, often having technology requirements for annual evaluations. When teachers are evaluated by their administrators, many times they'll have a component that says, what kind of technology did you use for that particular lesson whenever they're evaluated on their teaching. So it's there. Now, what are some ways for professional preparation for technology literacy? Well, states, districts, and educational associations promote activities that provide continuous improvement in technology skills. I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with LACU, the Louisiana Computer Users Organization, and Louisiana Computer Users in Education Organization. That's LACU. They're going to be having a 2-day conference at the Hilton in New Orleans in October, and teachers from the elementary, secondary, post-secondary level all get together and share. Also, there's going to be a Moodle Users Conference, I think sometime this fall in New Orleans. I can't remember the specific date. I'd love to be able to make that one, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. And most professional organizations, either at the post-secondary or secondary level, for teachers will have opportunities for teachers to be able to learn about new technologies and see how they're used. And also, what's wonderful, at the local level, at the local parish school boards, we have people that can train teachers also. So it's out there. All you and I have to do is take advantage of it. Some of this training is online for free, or we can pay for it. I like free myself, but sometimes you don't get it for free. What about technology training for other educators, and just for those that go beyond teaching? Well, media specialists are one group of people that are often charged with managing and training for technology. That many school boards and institutions will have one or more people that are trained in this technology, and then can go and either go one-on-one or else as a small group train others to make the most use out of this technology. Obviously, administrators need to know something about this because they're going to be making decisions about the technology, whether you're going to use it or not. And then we've got some other educational specialists that can offer guidance and instructional support in the use of technology for administration and student achievement. And Many times these are your men and women that are in the IT departments, the instructional technology uh, or information technology departments that work with this technology every day and can make some recommendations and also help us as we utilize this stuff. Now, what can you do to expand your technology literacy? Your No Child Left Behind legislation assures technical literacy for teachers beyond basics. If you're secondary or elementary, there's money that has to be provided for you to be trained on that. Teachers must keep expanding knowledge and skills to keep up with current and emerging technology. That could be a full-time job in and of itself. When I see something that's out there, I want to try it, but I just don't have an unlimited budget that I can just go out there and put that stuff in my classroom. But once that technology is there, 2 or 3 years from that point, it's been changed to something else. Something else has taken its place. So it's just a never-ending state of change. And in order for us to be able to keep up, we need to be lifelong learners or to remain on the technological forefront. You and I have got to be lifelong learners. From the first day we walk into the classroom to the final day that we retire and walk out the door and are done with our career, we are going to be constantly learning and challenged with this technology. And so let's not be afraid to use it. So that ends our first lecture for chapter 1. I'll have a little assignment for you in block 1 of Jules. So just go ahead and watch for that. And I'll go ahead and end our first lecture right now.